In the last episode, after 21 games unbeaten in all competitions, we succumbed to Boston United in the FA Cup. But the question is, have we got ourselves back into it, or have we caved in? Hello and welcome to episode 53 from the bottom to the top as we try and take a National League South side, in this case Weymouth, from the bottom all the way up to the top. And this is our journey. My name's Mark, and on today's episode we have for you two games. Vanarama National League Match Day 25 against Aldershot Town at Aldershot. And match day 26 when we are at home to Rochdale, the last side to beat us in the National League earlier in the season, as we start to come round to games again. And as I said, we are featuring teams that potentially we didn't feature in the first half of the season. There will be a little bit of crossover because we want you to see all the stuff that there is to be seen as we come round. So, you know, there may be a few games where we actually see a team for a second time, but the mix, we want to try and make sure that you get to see most of the teams, or at least all the teams, at least once through the series, or through this season. That's the plan anyway. And yeah, the question is, have we picked up after we went a bit awry in the last episode, that loss to Boston United? Feisty little buggers they were too, but I think we've sorted ourselves out, or at least I hope we have. We'll have a quick look at that in just a moment, but don't forget, if you do enjoy today's episode, leave me that big thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification button, leave me a comment, let me know what you think of the series so far. Much appreciate your comments. You can also make a check on what's happening on this channel, be updated about everything that is going on by following me on X at JustOffsideFM. Right, well, it's time to get into it. We'll have a look and see. We were scheduled to play 4 games whilst you were away, but we ended up playing 3. The reason behind that is Altrincham game got postponed. They had a waterlogged pitch, so that went out the window. So we've played 3 games since there, and a little bit of a hangover from that second round replay. Carried on in the game against Eastleigh. It was a bore draw, 0-0. Nothing much to report about that, but we needed to shake it off fairly quick, and we did against York City. It was a 3-1 win against York City. Will Armitage getting 2, and Mika Peters getting the other goal. They had a consolation goal on 88 minutes. But Will Armitage scoring from 2 corners, the first of which came from a very poor penalty from Mika Peters, and this is what happened. Peters had been brought down by a Wakid. I think Holman had, actually, and Peters fired it straight at the goalkeeper. McCracken in goal pushed it over the top, which meant that there was a corner following that, and this is what happened from the corner. Linton crosses it in, and Armitage gets up, surrounded by defenders, but he managed to get up and head that in the back of the net. So we were a goal up after 30 minutes, and we hung in there, and it was Mika Peters who got our second just before half-time. Gasper, Bolton to Linton. Linton crossed it into the area. Peters turned, created a bit of space for himself. Nobody tackled him, and he put it away in the back of the net. 2-0 then at half-time. And we made it 3-0, and we were looking for a clean sheet as well when Will Armitage got his second, our third of the game on 79 minutes. Abdul Malek, and again, surrounded by players, but Armitage getting up, nodding that in the back of the net. 3-0 then, and we got down to 88 minutes, and we were caught cold. Ajabai gets in, crosses this deep, and Grandeur, who just come on, heads it past Roan. too easy, really, and we weren't going to have a clean sheet. But we were handed another helping hand on 89 minutes. A second yellow card for Ali Wakid from the restart from that goal. And it was Holman came forward. And Ali Wakid bringing down Holman. And already on a yellow card. And he knew what was coming. In fact, the referee pulling out 2 yellow cards there, I noticed. Not pulling out a red for the second. I think he lost his red card somewhere, but I think the thing he was understood what was going on there. 13 shots, 8 on target, 2.23, and 58% of the possession against York's 6 shots, 3 on target, 0.79, and 42% of the possession. It was a win, and a good win at that. And then we went to Fylde, who earlier in the season we drew 0-0. In fact, these 2 games were our opening 2 games of the season. Fylde was a 0-0 and York City was a 4-4 draw. So to get that win was very good. But we went to Fylde and, well, lacklustre wasn't in it. We started off very, very poorly. Casey Palmer opening the scoring on just 4 minutes. This ball out to Kavanagh. Kavanagh cuts it inside to Evans. Evans, Gentile runs over it. And Maja passes it to Palmer as he comes through. And Palmer puts it in the back of the net. Well, we stayed like that. We couldn't find a way back in. It was very, very difficult work. And it was Rodriguez Gentile who stepped over that ball for Maja to pass it to Palmer. Scoring after 27 minutes to make it 2-0. Rodriguez Gentile out to Evans. Evans pulls it back. Kaki and Gentile arriving late. Puts in the second. And we're 2 down. And not looking like we've got much of a response. Had a word with the boys from the touchline. And Cam Cooper, who doesn't score very often. I think this might have only been his 3rd goal of the season. Got us 1 back on 40 minutes. Linton with a throw-in on that far side. It was a long throw to Nzingo. Passed it to Cooper. Cooper picked it up and put it away deftly in the back of the net. It's 2-1. And all we could hope was that we would survive until half-time at 2-1. Chance to have a talk to the boys. But just 2 minutes later, Jack Holman had other ideas. Ball goes out wide to Holman. Holman tucks it into Nzingo. Holman gets the return ball. And Holman deftly puts it past Merrick in the goal. 2-2 then at half-time. We're back in it. Had a word with the boys at half-time. And we come out in the second half. They had a little bit of it. We had a little bit of it. And then Ethan Braley got us a nose in front on 66. Wareham could have passed that out to Cooper, I think it is out here. Cooper? It is Cooper. Could have passed it to Cooper. But anyway, Braley, he passed it back to Braley. Braley put it in the back of the net. And it's 3-2 at this juncture in time. And then just 5 minutes later, Jake Garante got this one. Linton from a corner. Armitage heads it straight at the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper parries it. But Garante was first to bounce. Stuck it in the back of the net. It's 4-2. We have a 2-goal cushion. And almost 4 minutes later, this happened. Holman coming forward again. Cuts it inside to Nzingo. Nzingo had eyes to have a go on his own, but it come off Tharmy. Gave an own goal, and it was 5-2 at this point, and they just weren't in it, really. 14 shots, 7 on target, 1.79, 40% of the possession against our 12, 10, or 1.69, excuse me, and 60% of the possession. It was a good day at the office and a lovely turnaround. Being 2 goals down, how they responded was absolutely fantastic. Glory Nzingo picking up another player of the match. Yeah, 4 key passes, 2 clear-cut chances created, 2 assists. Didn't get a goal, but he did everything else but, and he would have got a goal. Realistically, that last one should have been his, except it diverted off of one of their players. So that is the games that we've played since you were last with us. This is how the table looks going into today's episode. Because of the game that was postponed against Altrincham, we do have a game in hand over certainly Halifax and Oldham Athletic. Chester have had a couple of games postponed and have a couple of games in hand. But we are top with that game in hand. So if we win the game in hand, we are a point clear of Halifax Town. We would be 4 points clear of them at the top of the table. That's what we're ideally looking for right now. We're on top then, 55 points. Halifax Town are in second on 54. Oldham Athletic are down in third on 47. That's 8 points adrift of us. Chester City, they have 2 games in hand. They have a game in hand over us and 2 games over these guys. Could be up 49 points if they win those 2 games. Would push them up into third. Still 5 points adrift of Halifax Town, mind you. And potentially they would be 9 points adrift of us. So at the moment it's appearing to be becoming a 2-horse race. Scunthorpe are in 5th on 43 points, just on goal difference. Yeovil Town have moved up into the playoff places. They are 6th on 42, having a good run of form at the moment. Won 4 of their last 5 by the looks of it. Bromley taking up the last of the playoff places on 41 points. Hartlepool just outside on 40, and then come Dagenham and Redbridge on 38, along with York City. And then down near the bottom, it's Guiseley on the bottom. Aldershot Town, our first opponents of the day, are in 23rd. Don't let that deceive you. They've won 2 of their last 5, lost the other 3. Chelmsford City are in 22nd on 22 points. Then come Gateshead, who are 21st on 23 points. Then our other opponents of the day, Rochdale, are relegated, of course, from the Football League last season. They are on 24 points, just sat on that trapdoor as it stands at the moment. Southend also on 24. And then come Torquay United on 25 and Altrincham on 26. There is a 7-point gap then up to Eastleigh, who currently are in 16th place. That's how it is. We will have a quick check-in to the medical centre. Nobody in the medical centre on the injury list as it stands at the moment, which means that we have today's game against Aldershot to face. Aldershot, we have played them 3 times this series, all in the National League. We have beat them both times at our place, drawn at their place, a 1-1 draw last season in January. Harding and Petit, the scorers. Harding scoring after 30, looked like it was going to be a 1-0 win to them, but Casey Petit saving our blushes on 94 minutes. Last time out, though, it was Amika Peters who scored 2 and an own goal that gave us the win. Barry Bagley, the scorer for Aldershot Town. We need a result to keep going today if we can. The fixtures, if we have a quick look at the fixture list for today, just have a look who's playing who. If we can go into this one, that's better. Back across, there we go. Halifax Town are paying Rochdale, so nothing to be gained there. Albeit Rochdale could be a bit feisty and will want to try and get away from that bottom echelons, and they need to be winning if they are. So they could be giving Halifax Town, we hope they do, give Halifax Town a decent run for their money, but we will see. So they are the matches that are coming up. I don't think there's much more to tell you other than they have Owen Baker out with flu. We are missing just 2 players who are in on trial with us. And for that reason, we'll get on with the game against Aldershot Town. And here is the team that faces Aldershot Town in this game. It's match day 25. Roan is in goal. Candlish Blythe, Ransom and Prescott. Our defensive line, Bolton, Morris and Solanke in midfield. In front of them, Abdul Malek, and then he is sat behind Peters and Wareham up front. On the bench today, we have Armitage, Linton, Brierley, Nzingo and James Jones. And here we are at Aldershot. They've won 2, lost 2, drawn 1 of their last 5. They're playing a 4-2-3-1 today. We've won 3 of our last 5, lost 1 and drawn 1. That one that we've lost, of course, was the FA Cup replay. We are top on 55. Aldershot 23rd on 21 points. 4 minutes on the clock. Candlish with a free kick. It's headed in, but headed over the top by Slanky. Another free kick. 18 minutes on the clock. Wareham this time swings it in. Again, looking for Slanky, but they're going to break free. Petrie is there. He's come away with the ball. And coming forward. Cisse into the area, but missed by Bauman. Be careful there. Nearly looked like a trip, but I think Ransom got something on it. 28 minutes on the clock. Prescott. He's got a knock, but we haven't got anybody to replace him, really. Ransom. Morris to Bolton. Bolton through to Peters. Peters puts it away in off the post. He's 15th of the season. And we go 1 up on 29 minutes. Nice ball straight through. Morris straight on. Bolton straight on. And Peters nearly missed, but in off the post. He was onside. Prescott again. Thrown in. Solanke to Blythe. Blythe to Bolton. Bolton finds Abdul Malek. Wareham. Oh, not quite getting to that ball. It was a bit short. And Bauman running away with that ball. Petrie. They look to try and get on level terms. Need to try and cut this attack out. It's a shot over the top. No more highlights in that first half. We've had 7 shots, 1 on target, 0.52, and 57% of the possession. They've had 5 shots, 1 on target, 0.55, and 43% of the possession. We've got noses in front, but we've not been ultra convincing up until now. And we have a highlight from kickoff, which is always a bit of a worry. That ball cut out by Bolton. Candlish. Blythe to Morris in midfield. Morris forwards to Abdul Malek. That was what I was trying to say. That ball punted forward. And one launched. Oh, it's gone over there, and they've left it. Bellis is in. He's come back off the post. Goodness me. A mistake here. And who was that made that mistake? It was Ransom. Goodness me. Bellis he almost couldn't believe his luck. Izquierdo in the goal. And we did have a look at him. He was on trial with us for a while. We didn't buy him. Ganlish. Deep cross. Oh, just over the top from Abdul Malek. Into the near post, but it's headed over the top by Casey. And with 71 minutes, or very nearly on the clock, we have taken off Jaden Wareham. He's picked up a yellow card. We've taken him off. And he has been replaced by James Jones up front. And we've also taken off Elliot Bolton in midfield and replaced him with Ethan Braley. They have a throw-in on that far side. Clifford. Kwamina. Cisse. It's gone out wide. Well tackled by Candlish. but not only keeping them at bay for the minute. Bellis is in this time. Bellis puts it away. His first goal of the season, and it's level on 77. Well, they've been knocking on the door for a little bit. They've been better in this second half. And Rome not getting anywhere near that. And with 77 minutes on the clock, having conceded that goal, we're going to have to take Prescott off. He is definitely on the wane. And we've had to replace him with Will Armitage. Will Armitage going into the centre of defence. And Harry Ransom going out on the right-hand side. And that's where we need a defender. Central defender that can either play left or right. So that when we do get an injury like that, because we're only allowed 5 substitutes on the bench, we can't have a wing back on either side available on the bench. So we need somebody that can play in both those positions. Something we need to look at. Ransom to Solanke. Solanke pumps that one forward straight into the arms of Izquierdo. Bauman back to Cremina. It's not cut out. Blythe heads it on. Prescott still on the pitch, I've realised. Change not yet been made. And he's offside. He's got to be offside. Yep, he is. Thank goodness for that. We probably will get the chance to make the change now. Blythe heading that back into danger. Prescott pumping it forward. Peter's not getting there. And it was recycled. Danger signs are here. Yeah, not much in it. Ball forward, but it's headed down. Abdul Malik to Braley. Candlish now. What's Candlish going to do? He's got Morris in support. Morris finds Blythe. Blythe. Solanke. Back to Blythe. Back to Solanke. Solanke forward to Abdul Malik. Ransom crosses deep looking for Peters. He's been brought down. It's a penalty. Peters missed the penalty in the last one. I'm not sure who's going to take it this time. Looks like Peters again, to be fair. No, it's Abdul Malik. Let's hope he can put this away. He can. Straight down the middle. Goalkeeper diving. Looked like he was going to put it in the bottom corner. 4th goal of the season for Abdul Malik. And we take, again, it's an unlikely lead on 90 minutes. They got back in the game. Straight down the middle. And once again, we've won. I'm not knocking it. Pretty even Stevens game, really, in the end. 14 shots, 3 on target for both of us. They had 1.55 on the XG. We had 1.88, 53% of the possession. A fairly even Stevens match. Probably a draw would have been a reasonable result. But at the end of the day, they failed us in the penalty area. And it was enough to give us the win. Abdul Malik winning us the game then. 1 key pass, 1 clear-cut chance and a goal. Not the best of days for anybody, but we've snuck a win. They're just the sort of things that will win us the league. Well, the good news is there's nothing major for Alfie Prescott. He's got a bruised ankle. He's going to be out for 2 to 3 days. That's really, really good news. Let's have a look at the fixtures that have happened on the 28th of December then. Well, Christmas has come a little bit late, but it has arrived because Rochdale have managed to get a draw against Halifax Town. Halifax Town a little bit out of sorts of late. They went behind to a goal from Reggie Stammers after 21 minutes, and it was Lewis Walker getting the equaliser on 85, and I bet they sigh a relief for them. A 1-1 draw, but it does mean that there is a 3-point gap now and a game in hand, which means that gap at the top could become 6 points, which is rather splendid. 10 points over Oldham Athletic and a game in hand. We have 12 points over Chester. Chester today have won against Hartlepool, but they do have 2 games in hand, so that could only be it might only be a 6-point lead. But even so, we've are starting to open a little bit of a gap up here at the top, and we just need to keep going, and hopefully we can look forward to League 2 football next season, and going professional as well, I think is the aim of the game. Right, we have 5 days down to the game against Rochdale, the only team, or the last team to beat us in the National League. Way back here somewhere, it was a 1-0 loss at their place. On that occasion, it was Relke. I think at the time they were doing quite well as well. They were not far off the top, but they've dropped away since. So ideally, a result against them today would do rather well. Currently in 18th place, Rochdale. Did they win today then? Rochdale. Oh, of course, they had a 1-1 draw against Hartlepool. Halifax Town. What am I on about? So, yeah, that's the game coming up. We'll come back just ahead of that game in just a couple of moments' time. So we're down to game time. There's a little bit of shenanigans been going on, which is, you won't know that it's taken a little bit of time to get here, but it has. We've been looking transfer market wise. There's a couple of things going on. We have offered a contract to a goalkeeper, believe it or not. We might have to ship a couple of goalkeepers out, but there's a possibility of a goalkeeper coming in. Jacob Knightsbridge has been on loan with us for a while, previously of West Ham, and we'll see where that one goes. And Harvey Slade is possibly leaving us. He's going to Slough Town if he goes. Slough Town currently in the National League South, yes. So dropping down a little bit, but he is 28 years old and probably served his usefulness here. He's been a good stalwart for us, certainly when we were in the Vanarama National League South. But Harvey Slade could be on his way out of the club. A couple of other things we're looking at the moment, but not really there. We are on the 2nd of January in game. Right, Rochdale, our opponents for this one then. Oscar Kelly is suspended for Rochdale. We don't have any other team news apart from the fact that Jacobs isn't available. We've played Rochdale just once in this series, of course, dropping down from the Football League last season. Played them once earlier in the season. It was the last game that we lost in the league, and it was a 1-0 loss on that occasion. Let's hope to get them back today, basically, because we need to keep this little run going if we are to stay at the top of the table for the end of the episode. Let's go and have a look at the team that faces Rochdale. And here is the team that faces Rochdale in this Vanarama National League Match Day 26. Roan is in goal. Linton, Grante, Armitage and Holman are defensive line. Gasper, Bolton and Braley in midfield. And Nzingo sits behind Jones and Wareham up front. On the bench today we have Blythe, Candlish, Solanke, Abdul Malik and Peters. Well, it's good to be back at the Bob Lucas for this one. Won our last 3 on the trot, lost 1 and drawn 1. That's our last 5 matches. They have only won 1 of their last 5, lost 3, drawn the other one. We are currently first on 58. They are 18th on 25. Playing in yellow tonight. And we have a highlight from kickoff, always a worry. Schwartz. Could be a bit spicy, I guess. This one crossed in deep and it's headed in. And Skinner gets them a lead inside the first 30 seconds. Yeah. That's not exactly the plan, but we've got plenty of time to get back at them, I guess. It'll be annoying if that's the only game of the only goal of the game. And yeah. Braley with a corner. 4 minutes on the clock. Swung in. Sort of defended, but not well. Armitage. Braley. Braley finds Linton. Linton. Bolton out to Braley. Braley's trying to get inside. I don't know why. Gasper. Gasper goes wide now. He's got Holman on this side. Holman pulls it back. Nzingo into the area. Wareham. Wareham's way was shut off. Holman! He's put it away. We are level after 6 minutes. And, well, they kept slamming the door shut until Holman got it. Holman to Nzingo. Wareham, his door was shut. Defender went with him, but Holman had come inside and Holman just created a bit of space for himself. Put it away. 1-1. 24 on the clock now. Braley with a free kick. Is he going direct or will he cross this in? No, he's going direct. He's come back off the post. Well, not many highlights in that first half, but we were caught cold inside 23 seconds or 30 seconds. Skinner scoring from a cross in by Alibi. Holman getting us back level after 6 minutes, just a 5-minute lead that, and it was Jaden Wareham who provided Holman with the pass. 10 shots, 4 on target, 1.30 and 58% of the possession. We could do with using both that possession and the shots with a bit more on target in the second half. They've had 2 shots, 1 on target, 0.18 and 42% of the possession. They're there for the taking. We need to up our game a little bit and take them. 54 on the clock. Davis with a free kick. Ball cut out by Wareham to Nzingo. Braley out to Gasper, but Gasper's caught in the tackle. And that ball out wide to Ingram. Ingram inside to Alibi. Caused us the problems before. He's cut it inside to Stammers this time. He's taking the shot and it's just wide. Have a free kick. Ingram with the free kick. Chips it in. It's cleared. Bolton will pick it up. Can we break here? Bolton. I'm not seeing many breaks in FM24. That's going through to Jones, though. Jones is in. Jones puts it away. That's exactly what the doctor ordered. And we take a 2-1 lead after 59. James Jones getting the thing. Lovely ball by Bolton. I think it was Bolton. Yeah, it was Bolton that put that ball into Jones. Jones just let himself. Goalkeeper come out. Put it past the goalkeeper. 59 on the clock now. And well cut out by Linton. Gasper. Braley. Braley now comes forward. Braley marauding. Cuts it inside. Gasper. Gasper's caught in the tackle and it's fired backwards. Armitage and it's got it through to Gasper now. Gasper has support but loses that ball. Control was a bit wayward. Garante tidying up. Braley. Garante took a little while to break into the team, but seems to have settled down in there now. Bolton. Bolton goes out wide for Linton. Linton on the overlap. Linton will try and get this in. No, he won't. Gasper. Gasper's support from Bolton. Trying to find a way through. They're shutting the door pretty well. Nzingo. Nzingo takes a shot. Oh, lovely goal. 10th goal of the season for Nzingo. And on 61 minutes, we have a 2-goal cushion, boys and girls. And we've upped to gear. We seem to take a while sometimes to settle into games. But we've done it. We have a free kick. 66. Braley going direct. Goalkeeper had to get rid of it. And I think this time it was definitely on target. And Linton with an in-swinger. Oh, it's in the back of the net. Elliot Bolton. And I'm not seeing Elliot Bolton head goals in before now. But goodness me, a 3-goal lead. It's 4-1. Goodness me. That was some goal. We'll see it now. Comes in. Elliot Bolton gets up in that cluster. And it was a bullet header. And we've made one change. Luigi Gaspar is off. Abdul Malik is on. He's taken up that role behind Jones and Wareham's. Nzingo dropping down into the Mazzala role in midfield. We have a corner. Braley with the corner. It's very deep. It's headed away, but Linton is there. Linton cross it back into the box. It's defended. Holman is the deepest player. Holman round his man into the area. Oh, and Wareham misses the target. In fact, it was blocked. It was going in, I think. Barely. With another corner. Is this one going to be deep? It's going to the back post. Armitage can't bring it down, though. See again the blocked shot that looked like it was going to go in. Swung in. Oh, I see, yeah. Wareham off of the defender. And with 78 on the clock, making our second change, Glory Nzingo is off. And we have replaced him with Tom Solanke in midfield. Braley moving over to the left. Solanke on the right. And that is our second change. We have one change left. And with nearly 86 minutes on the clock, we're making one more change. The final change. Will Armitage has had a good game. He's taken him off. And Ben Blythe comes on in his place. We'll put him on as a non-NCB. And that is all our changes. And Rochdale just sort of like, they did come back at us a little bit, but nothing too exclusive. And once we got that 3-goal cushion, we just sort of settled down, really. Just played the game out. And it's a 4-1 win against Rochdale. Holman, Jones, Nzingo and Bolton, the scorers. Joshua Skinner inside that first minute for Rochdale that gave us a little bit of a worry early on. Jack Holman having a player of the match. 2 key passes, 2 clear-cut chances created, and a goal. He's done very well today. And, well, let's go and have a look. 19 shots. Sorry, I should have done the stat, shouldn't I? 19 shots, 9 on target, 2.84, 62% of the possession. They had 7 shots, 2 on target, 0.51 and 38% of the possession. Let's go and see how that set us at the top of the table. Earlier on, Halifax were winning their game by 2-0. And here we are. Plenty of other high-scoring scorelines in today's matches. Fylde beating Gateshead by 7 goals. Yes, 7 goals to 2. I think they got a bit furious after we beat them before. Halifax Town beating Torquay United by 5 goals to 0. Hartlepool beating Guiseley by 6 goals to 3. And, of course, our win 4-1 against Rochdale, which leaves the table looking like this at the end of the episode. We have a game in hand over Halifax Town. We are in the lead by 3 points, 61 at the top. Halifax Town in second on 58. Chester are third. They have a game in hand over us, 2 games in hand over Halifax, but they are down there on 49 points. We'll take them up to 55 if they were to win those 2 games in hand. Still 3 points behind Halifax and 6 points behind us. How did they get on today? They beat Oldham Athletic by 3 goals to 2 at Oldham. Talking about Oldham, they are in 4th on 48. Chester leapfrogging them. Scunthorpe are 5th on 45. Hartlepool 6th on 43. Yeovil are 7th on 42. And then just outside of the playoff places, Bromley and York on 41. Obviously separated by goal difference. Then come Fylde, who have done their goal difference a world of good with that result today. Down the bottom, it's very, very tight. I would suggest everybody from Altrincham downwards are in danger. Altrincham, Rochdale, Torquay, Southend, 26, 2 on 25, Southend on 24. Aldershot are just trying to claw themselves out of there on 24, beating Chelmsford City today by a goal to 0. Gateshead are 22nd now. They've dropped into that bottom zone on 23 points. Chelmsford are there on 22. Guiseley are bottom on 14. They have an 8-point gap to them between Chelmsford. It feels like it's bad news for Guiseley. They've only won 2 all season. Southend and Oldham Athletic, the only 2 games they've won. Chelmsford City dropping in there, albeit they do have both of those have games in hand over Aldershot Town. If they were to win it, They would be, Gateshead would be back 26, which means all those would be sucked in. Southend included, and if they were to win, they would be on 25. So Southend would drop in that bottom echelon there. In fact, I think Chelmsford City would survive on goal difference. Torquay would drop in there as well. That's how it is at the end of the episode. Then we will be back. We're going to play Altrincham offline. Technically, our game in hand. And we'll be back for an FA Trophy 4th round game against Hartlepool and a 6-pointer against 2nd placed Halifax Town. If we can win that one, we must be well on the way to promotion to League 2. Come back and join me for that. I'm sure you will want to. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. If you have, don't forget to leave me that big thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification button. Keeps you up to date with all future episodes of Bottom to the Top and our other series, Irons in the Fire, as they are released. And new episodes of Bottom to the Top released every Tuesday and Friday, 4:15 p.m. And the best way of keeping up to date with everything that's going on the channel is to follow me on X at JustOffsideFM. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you for the next episode. It's going to be episode 54. It's out on Tuesday. Until then, have yourselves a great weekend. And I'll see you Tuesday. Bye-bye.